Okay, I'm going to varnish today. This is the colored pencil on sanded paper. Yeah, I've already put a couple coats of this on it. I'm going to put one more before I start varnishing. So Alanya was saying that more than anything, this is good for like a barrier between, you know, your work and a final coat of varnish. I think she says she varnishes all of hers, which is kind of where I got the idea. Yeah, so like in the future, like for any restorative efforts or conservation efforts, this acts like a barrier between the varnish and the work, so the varnish can be removed without harming the artwork. And conversely, it protects, you know, anything down before you put varnish on, so you're not like shifting colors or anything. I've already put a couple, probably 3 or 4 coats on in the house. I don't mind doing this in the house. It doesn't sting. I do find that the texture spray fixative, though, does make an awful lot of dust. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to start putting varnish on it. Also, I'm doing this in my icy cold, unheated garage. It's like 38 degrees outside. Yeah, it may take a little bit longer to dry than normal. Alright, so I'm going to employ some other means to speed this process up along. Bonus, it's a great personal heater. Keeps the hands warm when it's so cold out. Okay. And this is what I use for the varnish. You probably can't see that really well. It's Grumbacher Final Varnish gloss. With the a good layer of the final fixative on it, you can just as easily brush. You wouldn't have to worry about disturbing any of your pencil work. I just have this and I've used this, so that's what I got. I'm just going to shake it. You don't need to listen to that. Hold on. Okay, here we go. You go away. You don't need to smell this. Shoot. I don't know if you can see any difference. It just seems to even all the tone out, the reflection. You know, after you put the final fixative on, it gets kind of, I guess, grainy, textury, bubbly. I don't know, not bubbly, but this sort of evens all that out. And I'll go on with a couple good heavy coats, letting it dry really good in between. And doesn't that stink? Okay. Round 2. I usually go the opposite direction as I did the first time. Leo. Go away, this stinks. Come on, shoot. Good boy. Alright. I never let go. Never let go. Just keep spraying. You can see how it gets saturated on there. And And there's some places where you put more pigment down, it gets a little shinier faster. But I just go over the whole thing until it's nice and gloopy. And we let it dry again. And I have to be careful because this isn't exactly a dust-free environment, so I gotta make sure I don't let the dog run around and all that stuff because I want it to dry nice. Okay, it's dry. The texture of the sanded paper still comes through. It's just got a nice even look to it. It all looks pretty uniform on the artwork. I'm not too worried about the edges, but all right. Give it another coat. I don't know, I've never applied it with a brush or anything, but I'm assuming, you know, maybe 1 or 2 coats with a brush would probably suffice. This obviously goes on a lot thinner, so we'll just keep going until it looks right. Let's move it around until I can find the, I think that's going to do it. Maybe 1 more coat, we'll see what happens after this dries. I think this is probably 4 coats of spray is probably going to be like the equivalent of, you know, 2 that were applied by a brush. I have no idea, I've never done it, so. But we'll see. Oh, also I should mention, this is on hardboard. I mounted the LuxArchival onto a mat board first, which is where I, you know, when I did the artwork on that, I had taped off the edges of a 16 by 20. But it's on a mat board, and then I kind of stuck that onto the hardboard afterwards because I didn't want to have that to walk around. And plus this is also the backing to the frame that I had made. But anyway, we'll let this dry. I'll do 1 more coat, and never hurts to keep the can from freezing. Alright, last coat, I hope. Get right in there, close. Yeah, you can't really see how much richness it gives it. I guess it's just the shine. Maybe since I'm so used to seeing it in that dull, textured, fixative finish, you know, and all that, but after it's varnished, it just looks so much better, I think. Okay, it's still a little bit tacky, but you can see, I hope, what it does to it. I mean, it gives it, I don't know, it gives it a more finished look. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I think it looks a lot better afterwards. I'd give it a try, see what you think.